So, seeing as this particular model has not been featured in um, other YouTube videos aside from Vornado's own promotional materials and a um, pretty useless AI quote unquote review, I thought I would make two reviews on this. This one being first impressions. I just got this today, and just kind of show uh, how it is and what my first thoughts are, and then down the road I'll make one showing how it's holding up. Now I did purchase this on eBay. Condition was listed as lightly used / open box. So there are some cosmetic blemishes, but it had not been put together, and it had not been used. So functionally, it is brand new. This is the Vornado BXR HD, and this is an interesting fan because it is basically the Vornado tower fan in a heavier duty enclosure and sideways. You do have two ways to use it. You can use it sideways like this, or you can flip it on its end. It does have feet on the bottom, and you can have it standing up, and then it can kind of pivot standing up, but when it's sitting in its more traditional position, it's got a lot more adjustments. So you can adjust it so it's blowing slightly upwards, and then you can also adjust it pretty easily to where it's blowing downwards, say drying a floor. It has 3 speeds and an electronically controlled motor. Gets rid of the buzzing and the spottiness of some of the older controls. Here is the technical data. This one was made in 2023. As I said. Without further ado, you do have simpler controls though. Yellow is obviously power. Plus and minus is cycling between your speeds. This does have a 3-prong cord, and one feature I do like is the cord wrap on the back. And the plug end of the cord does have a clip on it to hold the plug onto the cord. If I can get it where it's not going to do a bunch of wonders to the camera. Without further ado, we will turn it on. I think it starts on high. Yes. So this is high speed. I don't have any of my scientific instruments to measure airflow, but this is, for this size of fan and the amount of, the lack thereof of noise, this is actually an impressive amount of air. This would be good for drying a floor. You tilt it down, dry a floor. Use medium. And medium, very quiet. It still moves quite a bit of air on medium. And this this medium is quiet enough to be used in a church. And then low. And this is its low speed. And it doesn't move a lot of air. I mean, as to be expected. But the amount of air that it's moving, this is good for, like, just running in the background to move air around. You know, not drying floors or, you know, cooling a person off. This is just a good recirculation mode. And very quiet. Good amount of air. Just to show it standing up. And yeah, it does have feet on just one side. So this is how it would be standing. There's medium again. There's high. So, and here is off. So all in all, for the price I paid, which was about half a retail, this is a very, very nice fan. Now for retail, which I think is $80, $90, you can probably find it on sale. Even for retail, it's still a pretty good fan from an initial point of view. It's quiet, it moves a lot of air, it is quite compact. I mean, that's a whole house humidifier. You can see it's not that big, but it moves a decent amount of air. So, like, while this won't cool or provide air movement for like an entire shop, like a 42-inch drum fan, this would be good for just, you know, a localized, you know, drying a small flooring area or, you know, moving air in a smaller space. You know, I'm not gonna oversell it and say this is the be-all end-all, but if you have, like, a workbench where space is limited and you want a fan that'll move a decent amount of air, because say you want to put it on the workbench and have it blowing on you on, like, a shop bay, this would be good for that because it doesn't take up a lot of space. And, I mean, as you can stand it up, you can set it down, depending on how your space constraints are. And it's also portable, because this is a handle, and it carries pretty easily. So, you know, smallish areas where you need a lot of air movement, but can't have a lot of noise, this is good. Now, they do have a more home-oriented version, which I think it's just mainly a different color and a 2-prong cord. That would be really good for a lot of homes. You know, that would be good for a lot of homes. And then they also have a duo, which is a more aesthetically pleasing. So it's more aesthetically pleasing. You get more features. I think you get more speeds, maybe a remote, but it's the same basic design. They cost more, but all in all, you can. But all in all, these, you know, those 3 models, they're good for what they're advertised for. Now, I haven't seen a lot of the promotional material on these, whether Vornado's selling these for, like, moving air for a whole shop or whatever, but as I said, if you need good, localized, portable air movement, this would not be a bad option at all. Anyways, that concludes this review. I will make another one in probably a year or two, detailing how this thing holds up to use, because this is still a fairly new product from the looks of it. So anyways, we'll see.